Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Alexandra. Here I have a November 2022 box from Your Creative Studio. While the supplies last, you can get it on the Your Creative Studio website. I will include the link down below. So without further ado, let's just look inside the box, see what it has in it, and then we'll have a little creative play with some of the items from the box. Okay, so here are all of the items that were in the box. Now let's see what we can make with them. I decided to create a few cards with the items from the box. I absolutely adore the blue flowers and the final result. I hope you will enjoy creating with this box if you have one. If you don't have one, while the supplies last, I remind you, you can get it on the Your Creative Studio website, and the link will be down below. So here is the first card that I made. It's not dimensional because I plan to use it in one of my journals. That's the second card. I splattered some black paint on top just for some accent. Then I have here the third card that I have started to build a composition for, and I will just put some of the pieces away for now so that I can explain to you more about the base layers. So here we have a tab. Pretty straightforward, nothing special. It just folded in half and it's ready to use. Then for the base of my card, I took a piece of ivory cardstock and it measures 6 inches by 3 7/8. Then this piece of card measures 5 7/8 by 3 3/4. So that's the base of our card. Then for the additional background piece that I have right there, I'm going to use another piece of ivory cardstock, and this one, if you wonder, is 5 inches by 2 7/8. And then this piece comes from the a little bit more lightweight papers from the box. They were this size. I only trimmed from the length, but the width, I guess, was as it is now. And this piece measures 2 3/4 by 4 7/8. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to glue each one of the 2 layers together, and I'll stitch around the edges. Prior to stitching the larger background piece and the base of the card, I'm going to add the label on top like that, closer to the right corner, because on the previous 2 cards I had it on the left and in the center. So once I'm done with that, I will get back. I have finished sewing around the edges of the base layer, and then before sewing this piece, I want to add a strip with the sticker right here closer to the bottom of the paper piece. So I'm going first of all to trim this a little bit because I don't need it to be that long. I can use this strip somewhere else. And now with this piece, I'll just remove the paper backing and layer it where I need it to be, and then I will fold the edges behind the paper piece like so. And now it's ready to be sewn like so. Next, I'm just going to glue this layer on top of the first one. And now we can play with the rest of the decorative elements and complete our card. So a few words here. I'm going to use the cut off piece from this background paper, and to make it look more interesting, I used a piece of washi tape and wrapped the tails of the washi around the edges of that paper piece. First of all, it made it sturdier, and that's perfect because these papers were, as I mentioned previously, a bit lightweight type papers. Then the postage stamps that you see here, as well as some of the additional postage stamps here, have been cut from one of the collaged papers notebooks which were in the box. Since I want them to be sturdy as well, I backed them with some white cardstock, so it's easier now to use them in the composition on my card. Then these tiny flowers come from this stamp. I have stamped a few impressions, and this is how it looks. For one of the cards, I even cut the whole image out like so, close to the border, and then I only cut out the flower for adding it in different places on my cards. So you can see one here, and here you can actually see that whole image cut out and used on a card here. Then the same thing goes for this element, which comes from the second larger stamp which was included in the box. Then the flowers, they come from the sticky notepad, and the same thing, I just wanted them to be heftier, so I backed them with the white cardstock as well, and then fussy cut the flower cluster like so, without the more delicate branches which were here on both sides, so it's easier to do it that way. Then the labels come as they are, with only this circle piece that I added in the center on one of the labels because I needed it to be less white. That's another piece of that flower cluster. And I think that's all. That's all the elements that I'm going to use. Let's just see how we want to layer them again. I will add this label here, and this piece of paper will be glued down right here in this corner. Then here I think I will add the labels. Then maybe this one. It's all about playing with these elements and just moving them around and seeing if you like the result. So I guess this one will be maybe will be right here, and then this one I will move a little bit to the side. Let me play with these a little bit more. Yeah, something like that I think is fine. So once you are happy with the placement of different elements on your card, what I like to do is I like to go with the glue and put just tiny amounts of glue in the back of each one of the pieces and lightly glue them all together, so that if you don't like how everything looks and you want to change something, you can still do that because the amount of glue is quite minimal there, and you can peel things off one from another. Okay, so here, for example, I'll add a bit of glue to the flowers and then connect the label to those flowers there. And I can see that I can already add some glue to this element here and maybe glue it behind this ivory cardstock piece. Yeah, like that. I think I want it to be like that, and then these pieces will be glued down right here. Let's have a look. I think I like it that way. So I'm going to add just a bit of glue in there and then slide it behind the rest of the elements, just like so. And now when they're lightly glued together, all of our elements, I can even detach all of it and take it to my sewing machine and stitch in a few places where I think it could look nice. So maybe here, so that I connect both the flower and the label and the postage stamps together. Maybe another line I will stitch somewhere here so that I catch all of these elements, and then I will get back. And here we have it. So I stitched here and here and here in 3 places. If you want to add more, you can go ahead and do that, of course, or depending on how your composition looks in general, you will need to stitch maybe in some other areas. So right now it's easy for me to grab this whole cluster and work with it now separately and maybe move it a little bit to the left or to the right, or to any other direction that I want. I think I want to place it somewhere here. So now I can take the glue and just add glue to the back of this whole thing like that, and glue it down to the card base. I think I wanted it to be like that. Once you glue everything down, you will have to check if there are places where you need to add more glue, like I need to do right here to glue down the leaves so that they're safe there, like that, or maybe add some glue behind the postage stamps, and so on and so forth. You just lift different areas of the elements that you previously lightly glued and just secure them better on your card. Okay, I think I'm done with this one. And then the last thing you do, if you want to, you add the splatters of paint on top, and then your beautiful cards are ready to be either gifted to someone or used in a journal. I hope you will give this box a go if you have one. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon in the next videos. Bye!